Welcome to the 24th episode of African Megaprojects. Today, we are diving into an unusual yet important topic. While it is not related to railways, airports, or road infrastructure, its financial impact surpasses all major projects we have covered on this channel. Today's topic of discussion is the Trump remittance tax. This policy is expected to affect millions across the African continent and cost the African diaspora billions of dollars. This tax has far-reaching financial consequences, impacting health, education, and the everyday lives of many people in Africa. In this video, we will answer three key questions. The first question is, what is the remittance tax? The second question is, how much money do Africans in the diaspora send home, and how does it compare to other money inflows? The third and final question is, what are the possible future solutions for sending money? Let's start by the first question. What is the remittance tax? The remittance tax is a 3.5% excise tax on money transfers sent from the US to foreign countries by non-US citizens. This tax is part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping legislative package introduced by President Donald Trump. The bill was narrowly passed by the House of Representatives on May 22, 2025, with a vote of 215 to 214. If approved by the Senate, the tax will take effect on January 1, 2026, and will apply to all remittance transfers made by non-citizens, including green card holders and visa holders. U.S. citizens are exempt from this tax if they use a qualified remittance transfer provider, that means a financial institution that verifies their citizenship status. The tax was initially proposed at 5% but was later reduced to 3.5% following pushback from lawmakers and immigrant advocacy groups. Analysts estimate that this tax could reduce remittances to countries like India by 10 to 15%, potentially resulting in a loss of $12 to $18 billion annually. The bill also introduces penalties for remittance providers who fail to deduct and deposit the tax quarterly, making compliance mandatory for financial institutions handling international transfers. How will this remittance tax be collected? Under the proposed Trump remittance tax, banks and money transfer services will automatically deduct a 3.5% excise tax at the point of transaction and report it quarterly to the U.S. Treasury. The Trump administration argues that this tax will generate federal revenue and discourage undocumented immigration. However, critics warn that it could significantly increase financial burdens on immigrant families, particularly those who rely on remittances to support relatives abroad. If the bill is passed in the Senate, immigrants in the U.S. would effectively be taxed twice on their remittances. Under the new legislation, they would pay an additional 3.5% federal tax on top of the roughly 6% they already pay in fees to banks and remittance companies. This means that for every $100 sent abroad, nearly $10 will be lost to taxes and fees, making the US the most expensive country in the G7 countries for sending money overseas. Let us move to the second question. How much money do Africans in the diaspora send home? According to the World Bank, the United States is the largest source of remittances globally, with over $656 billion sent overseas in 2024. Of this amount, approximately $100 billion, which is 1/6 of the total, was sent to Africa. The top 10 African countries receiving the highest remittances include Egypt, Nigeria, Morocco, Ghana, Kenya, Senegal, Uganda, Ethiopia, and South Africa. Remittances play a crucial role in African economies, often surpassing other financial inflows. In some countries, they are critically important. For instance, World Bank data shows that remittances account for approximately 20% of GDP in nations such as Lesotho, Comoros, Somalia, Gambia, and Liberia. remittances have also exceeded foreign aid. In 2022, African diaspora sent nearly $100 billion, while foreign aid to the continent was around $42 billion. This means that private remittances significantly outpace official development assistance. In major African economies like Egypt, Nigeria, and Morocco, remittances can be 3 to 5 times larger than foreign aid. Additionally, remittances have surpassed foreign direct investment (FDI) since 2010, with the gap widening over time. For example, in 2021, remittances to Africa totaled $90 billion, while FDI stood at $70 billion. Before answering the third question, I want to clarify that these suggestions are not my personal opinions but insights from experts online. Therefore, I am not liable for any potential risks associated with these alternative methods of sending money. Experts suggest several ways migrants might try to circumvent the tax. Some may ask a US citizen friend or family member to send money on their behalf, while others might turn to cryptocurrencies as an alternative transfer method. Additionally, there is concern that the tax could drive the growth of informal cash services, such as black market transactions or mules, who physically transport money across borders. While these alternatives exist, they come with risks, including legal consequences and financial uncertainty. The long-term impact of this tax on remittance flows and migrant communities remains a topic of debate among policymakers and economists. In conclusion, the Trump remittance tax represents a significant policy shift that could affect millions of people across Africa and the diaspora. With an additional 3.5% tax on money transfers, the financial burden on immigrants is expected to grow, potentially reducing remittance flows and straining economies that rely on these funds. Given that remittances surpass both foreign aid and direct investment in Africa, the impact of this tax could be profound. While alternative transfer methods exist, they come with risks and uncertainties. As discussions continue, policymakers and stakeholders must carefully consider the consequences of this tax and explore solutions to mitigate its effects on global remittance systems. Thanks for watching. See if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.